Hello, friends, welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss the new government schemes for agricultural development. In the last two lectures, we have studied about the agricultural production and productivity. In this unit, we have studied and discussed the features of Indian agricultural sector, the production and productivity of agricultural sector, the problems or distress in the agricultural sector, then export composition, direction, and contribution of agricultural sector into the export. The Indian agricultural sector is facing some problems and distress from many years, and it is the sector which is lagging behind compared to other two sectors, industrial sector and service sector. For the development of the agricultural sector, Indian government have formulated different schemes and it implemented since the independence. But recently government have focused more on the agricultural sector. And what are the recent development schemes we are going to discuss in this lecture. Welfare of farmers has been the top priority of government of India. For this, it has implemented different schemes or yojnas to revive agricultural sector and to improve the economic conditions of farmers. These agricultural schemes are very beneficial for the farmers, and they must know about it so as to take its benefits. Uh, so first scheme we have Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sanman Nidhi Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sanman Nidhi Yojana is an initiative of the government wherein 120 million small and marginal farmers of India with less than 2 hectares of land holding will get up to rupees 6,000 per year as a minimum income support. PM Kisan scheme has become operational since 1st December 2018. Under this scheme, cultivators will get rupees 6,000 in 3 installment. For more details, you can refer this website. Second scheme we have Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is an actuarial premium based scheme where farmers has to pay maximum premium of 2% for Kharif and 1.5% for Rabi, that is winter crops, food and oilseed crops, and 5% for annual commercial or horticulture crops, and the remaining part of the actuarial or bidded premium is equally shared by the central and state government. An important purpose of this scheme is to facilitate quick claim settlement. The claims should be settled within 2 months of harvest, subject to timely provision of both yield data and share of premium subsidy by the state government. So you can check more things on this website. Next scheme is Pradhan Mantri Kisan Mandhan Yojana. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a pension scheme for the small and marginal farmers of India last September. Under PM Kisan Mandhan scheme, about 5 crores marginalized farmers will get a minimum pension of rupees 3,000 per month on attaining the age of 60. Those who fall in the age group 18 to 40 years will be eligible to apply for the scheme. Under this scheme, the farmers will be required to make a monthly contribution of rupees 55 to 200 depending on their age of entry in the pension fund till they reach the retirement date 60 years. The government will make an equal contribution to the same amount in the pension fund for the cultivators. You can check more details on this website. Next is Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Uh, this is another important government scheme that provides farmers with timely access to the credit. Kisan Credit Card Scheme was introduced in 1998 to provide short-term formal credit to the farmers. Kisan Credit Card Scheme was launched to ensure that the credit requirement for cultivators in the agriculture, fisheries, and animal husbandry sector were being met. Under this scheme, farmers are given short-term loan to purchase equipment and for their other expenses as well. There are many banks that offer KCC, including State Bank of India, SDFC, ICICI, Axis, etc. Next scheme we have Pashu Kisan Credit Card Scheme. For the growth and development of animal husbandry sector in India, the government has launched Pashu Kisan Credit Card for livestock farmers. Haryana is the first state in the country to provide Pashu Kisan Credit Card to the farmers. Under this scheme, farmers are given loan to buy cow, buffalo, goat, etc. To apply for Pashu Kisan credit card, you will have to go to your nearest bank. The leading bank for district mostly provides such schemes. Next scheme is Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana is implemented with the aim to promote organic cultivation in India, to improve soil health as well as organic matter content, and to boost the net income of the farmers so as to realize premium prices. Under Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana, an area of 5 lakh acres is targeted to be covered through 10,000 clusters of 50 acres each from 2015-16 to 2018. This scheme extended now for further period. Next is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana was launched on 1st July 2015 with the motto Har Khet Ko Pani, to provide end-to-end solution in irrigation supply chain, for example water sources, distribution network, and farm level applications. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana mainly focuses on creating sources for assured irrigation and also creating protective irrigation by harnessing rainwater at micro level through a Jal Sanchay and Jal Sinchan. What are the components of these schemes? Accelerated irrigation benefit program, which is implemented by Ministry of Water Resources, Har Khet Ko Pani scheme, watershed development, and per drop more crop scheme implemented by the Department of Ministry of Water Resources. Next is National Agriculture Market, that is ENAM. National Agriculture Market gives an e-marketing platform at the national level and support creation of infrastructure to enable e-marketing. This new market process is very much benefiting to the agricultural market by guaranteeing better price discovery. It also brings in transparency and competitiveness to enable cultivators to get improved remuneration for their produce, moving towards one nation, one market. Next scheme is Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme. The Department of Animal Husbandry, Dairying and Fisheries had launched a pilot scheme called Venture Capital Scheme for Dairy and Poultry in the year 2005 to 6. The scheme aimed at extending support for setting up small dairy farms and other components to bring structural changes in the dairy sector. Later on, this scheme changed its name Dairy Entrepreneurship Development Scheme, and the revised scheme came into operation with effect from 1st September 2010. Next scheme is neem coated urea, that is NCU. This scheme is initiated to regulate use of urea, enhance availability of nitrogen to the crop, and reduce cost of fertilizer application. This scheme slows down the release of fertilizers and make it available to the crop in an effective manner. The entire quantity of domestically manufactured and imported urea is now neem coated. It reduces the cost of cultivation and improves soil health management. Next scheme is Soil Health Card Scheme. Soil Health Card Scheme was launched in the year 2015 in order to help the state government to issue soil health card to farmers of India. The soil health card gives information to farmers on nutrient status of their soil, along with recommendation on appropriate dosage of nutrients to be applied for improving soil health and its fertility. You can check more information on this site. Next is Rain-Fed Area Development Program. Rain-Fed Area Development Program was started as a sub-scheme under the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. The aim was to improve quality of life of farmers, especially small and marginal farmers, by giving a complete package of activities to maximize farm returns. It also helps in increasing agricultural productivity of rain-fed area in a sustainable way by adopting suitable farming system based approaches. It minimizes the adverse impact of possible crop failure because of drought, flood, or uneven rainfall distribution through diversified and composite farming system. This program also help in increasing farmers' income and livelihood, support for reduction of poverty and in rain-fed areas. What was the objectives of this scheme? To improve quality of life of farmers, especially small and marginal farmers, by offering a complete package of activities to maximize farm returns. Second is increasing agricultural productivity of rain-fed areas in a sustainable manner by adopting appropriate farming system based approaches to minimize the adverse impact of possible crop failure due to drought, flood, or uneven rainfall distribution through diversified and composite farming system. Restoration of confidence in rain-fed agriculture by creating sustained employment opportunities through improved on farm technologies and cultivation practices. And last one is enhancement of farmers' income and livelihood support for reduction of poverty in rain-fed areas, etc. Next is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is one of the 8 missions under the National Action Plan on Climate Change. It is aimed at promoting sustainable agriculture via climate change adoption measures, boosting agriculture productivity, especially in rain-fed areas, focusing on integrated farming, soil health management, and synergizing resource conservations. The scheme includes following things: rain-fed area development, then submission on agroforestry, soil health management, Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana, National Rain-Fed Area Authority, then Soil and Land Use Survey of India, National Center of Organic Farming, and Mission Organic Value Chain Development in northeastern region. So these are the component of this scheme. Next is livestock insurance scheme. Livestock insurance scheme is aimed at providing protection mechanism to farmers as well as cattle rearer against any eventual loss of animal because of death. This scheme also tells about the benefit of insurance of livestock to dairy farmers and popularize it with the ultimate goal of attaining qualitative improvement in livestock and their products. Next scheme is micro irrigation fund, that is MIF. A dedicated MIF created with NABARD has been approved with an initial corpus fund of 5,000 crore, 2,000 crore for 2018-19 and 3,000 crore for 2019-20 for encouraging public and private investment in micro irrigation. The main objective of the fund is to facilitate the states in mobilizing the resources for expanding coverage of micro irrigation. Micro irrigation fund would not only facilitate states in incentivizing and mobilizing resources for achieving the target envisaged under PM KSY PDMC, but also in bringing additional coverage through special and innovative initiative by state governments. An advisory committee has been set up to provide policy direction and ensure effective planning, coordination, and monitoring of the micro irrigation fund. Next scheme is National Scheme on Welfare of Fishermen. This scheme was launched to provide financial assistance to fishers for construction of house, community hall for recreation and common working place. It also aims to install tube wells for drinking water and assistance during lean period through saving income relief component. uh, Next scheme is for the fisheries training and extension. It was launched to provide training for fisheries sectors so as to assist in undertaking fisheries extension program effectively. Next scheme is agriculture contingency plan. Central Research Institute for Dryland Agriculture has prepared district level agriculture contingency plan in collaboration with state agricultural universities using a standard template to tackle aberrant monsoon situations leading to drought and floods. Extreme event, heat waves, cold waves, frost, a hailstorm, cyclone adversely affecting crops, livestock and fisheries including horticulture. Total 614 district agriculture contingency plans are placed in the farmers portal of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, and also in the ICAR CRIDA website. For reading more about this, you can visit these websites. So friends, that much in this today's lecture. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lecture.